Is hosted by Tony Gapastione. Thanks for tuning in. It's showtime.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy August. I'm recording this on August 1st, 2025. It's episode 252 of the Brave Maker podcast. My name is Tony Gapastione, and I'm the executive director and founder of Brave Maker. I'm an actor, a filmmaker, myself, writer, director, all of those things. And today I'm wearing my old podcast shirt, which is kind of random and ironic, called Holy Cannoli. You can look it up if you'd like. I love cannoli. It's a yellow shirt. I'm wearing my yellow glasses. I have a black hat on today. I'm a white guy with a bearded salt and pepper thing happening in our Brave Maker studio, which is the faux green backdrop with pink Brave Maker letters that was on the Step and Repeat during the Brave Maker Film Fest 2024, year 6. So today I wanted to chat a little bit about what do you do? How do you survive the low lows of filmmaking when you're riding the wave? You just finished a film, you spent a week, 25 days, 4 days, or 24 hours making a movie, or you're at a film fest, hint, for 4 days in a row in July of 2024 in Redwood City, and you're totally adrenalized. Then all of a sudden it ends and you kind of are in this weird wasteland, it feels like. So I'm going to chat about some things that have helped me along the way. I'm still processing the amazing 4 days we had at Brave Maker. And then I had a lot of thoughts and reflections and some emotional responses that have been interesting, that I think are kind of symptomatic and like a pattern that I've experienced in the past. And I think I have found there's, and this is just my opinion, there's no right way to do this. So these are just my opinions and my ideas. If you're watching live or on the replay, you're going to see some video happening from the film festival that was shot by my friend, Rich DiMaggio. Thank you, Rich, for being a part of the Brave Maker Film Festival. It was a wild and satisfying 4 days of celebrating films and having conversations and doing workshops and all sorts of mixers and connections and networking. It was truly incredible. And I came out of that film festival like I knew I would, extremely high. I mean, I got very little sleep by my choice. No one's forcing me to do this, by the way. I do it because I love it, and it's something I'm passionate about, something I know I need, and I know other people need and benefit from it too. So if you're watching this and are listening and you did benefit in a positive way, please spread the word. We need that support. We need people to help get the word out so that we get more representation and sponsorship. This is our lowest year of sponsorships ever, and somehow we did the most. It doesn't compute in my mind. It's that whole idea about creativity comes when limitations are put upon it, and that's truly what happened. And if you're watching or listening to this on the podcast, please rate us and give us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you're listening, because that helps. So film festival ends on July 14th with an amazing party by Sam Tam. Thank you for leading that, and Tonya and our team. It was surreal how fulfilling it was. And yeah, were there things that went wrong? Did we get some negative critique? Sure, that we deserved. Sure. But for the most part, 90% of it was super encouraging. So I have felt these same things making a short film, doing our Brave Maker Academy, doing my feature film, Last Chance Charlene. It's like going to a sleepaway camp, and you're like, this is amazing. And then you get home, and it's like, oh, I got to do my chores again. I'm thinking about middle school. I got to do homework. It's back to life. It's that feeling that sometimes does not sustain right after a big event. So what do you do when you hit those obstacles, those challenges, when you spend, when you're living your dream and you're out in the world and making something happen, and then all of a sudden, it ends. It's like, well, this is reality. And thank you so much for comments coming in. See you however we can help make your dreams a reality as a filmmaker. We're here to do that. So I've got some thoughts, and I think it takes preparation and planning. So kind of here's sort of 3 different things I think you can do, 3 different preparations, things you can schedule into your life post filmmaking or to survive the lows when things are going to get challenging. Now, when I say lows, some of you might interpret it when there's no work. What do you do when there's no work? That's definitely a low too. What do you do when you get rejected? That's a low. Maybe my ideas and thoughts will touch on those things, but I'm primarily talking about after the high, when things change, when you go from set to your day job to life, and things have a super switch to how you're spending your time, where you're not living your dream. So the lows of that after filmmaking, or that after a film fest, even if you go as an attendee to a film festival, it's super inspiring. Then back to your day job, behind a cubicle or working remote might not be so much. So here's 3 things I think you can be considering. 1 is your emotional state, 2 is your physical, and 3 is your creative. Now, is there more that we could discuss on this? Sure, but these are where I'm going to focus on. Okay, so first, let's talk about the physical stuff first. So I think if you know you're going to have a low, meaning you're going to finish a film on a Sunday, and then you have to go back to work on a Monday. You got to be thinking about physically, your body is going to be impacted in some way. That is going to be a shift. That's going to, a lot of people get colds. A lot of people go to film festivals. I remember I went to a film festival a couple of years ago. This was after, masking and stuff was being regulated, and I got COVID. I think my body obviously was exposed in some way, but I was also, running, staying out late, going to parties, that kind of thing. So a lot of people I know have a physical reaction when they come down off of a film fest or making a film. So be thinking about what you can do to take care of yourself physically. One of the things I would say is just plan a physical treat for yourself, meaning, get a massage, go on a hike, take a bubble bath, go swimming, go to the beach, physically address your body's needs and the shift that it is taking after making a film or going to a film fest, or in my case, executive directing a film festival. Your body is going to have an impact. And I don't care if it's just you made a short film over a weekend, 3 days, 4 days, your body has been going in a different direction, and all of a sudden it hits this wall, and it's like, oh, you just might need to friggin' sleep. I know the film festival ended on the 14th, and I had to do some cleaning up, which took a good 3, 4, 5 days. But I always plan a vacation because I know my body needs to reset. I need to be out of my house. We go to Tahoe, we rent an Airbnb, I'm hanging on a boat in a lake, I'm at the beach. It has a profound physical impact in a positive way on my body after my body has gone through quite a exhilarating and draining, in the most positive way possible, experience. So number 1, plan something physically to reward yourself. Plan something after you have a film shoot that is going to bless your body, recover, rejuvenate. I got a massage. Do whatever you can do to take care of your body's physical nature. Because when you expend a lot of time and energy into a film festival, into making a film, your body will thank you for it. And here's the deal. I think if we just keep going, our bodies are going to tell us in many certain ways that it's going to shut down. You're going to have that low crash. Even when I think I've planned the best after the film festival, if you're watching this on the YouTube channel, we're seeing video again by Rich DiMaggio, and I'm all over the place. I'm dancing, I'm mingling, I'm mixing, I'm at 17 different venues. My body was ready to sit and do nothing. And I took many naps after the film festival. And I'm super grateful for that. But it takes planning. Put it in your schedule, much like you would have an interview, or you schedule a workout class, or you have a deadline for one of your projects. I have a Google Calendar on my phone. I also have a paper calendar that I use. It's very helpful for me to plan and direct and guide my life. But that physical area is really huge to be able to put it in there and know that it's coming. And I would say do it way before, even as you're planning the film, you're planning the shoot days, you're planning the festival, you're planning whatever it is, the work thing, the creative expression that you're doing. Plan it that far in advance so that I tried to clear my schedule so that I wouldn't have a ton of work meetings the week after the festival. And somehow there were some meetings that got in there because I didn't clear my schedule close enough, but I knew my head was not in the greatest space to be able to take creative meetings, which goes to my second, what was I calling this? Not thing, but just survival technique. My second survival technique for dealing with the lows of filmmaking is to plan your next creative step, to put it in your calendar for what that next creative move is. Because if we don't look and think and plan beyond that film that we're doing or that film fest, that low can get even deeper and more depressing. And I've definitely felt this over my years of being a filmmaker, as well as the 6 years of doing Brave Maker. And I might have to be a little vulnerable on this, which will lead to my third survival technique about the emotional stuff. But, being a creative, we are always, poised with challenges, whether it's the financial thing to get our project made, or really to get all the support, the human power and partnership that we need. And that was definitely the case with Brave Maker Film Fest year 6. We got, not enough volunteers, not enough sponsors, but what we pulled off was amazing. But I knew that if I didn't have something in my schedule, like the next thing, that I would go and slip into a depression. And I definitely am still fighting that, to be totally frank. I'm fighting a little bit of depression, and I'll be transparent as to why. Again, it was such a high. I had so many people who put their hands on my shoulders and said, "This is amazing." I got so many emails, and thank you for them. These words are super, super important. I need these words. People who said, "You've created something so empowering, so special, something I haven't experienced before. You set the bar high for a film festival." Great. I really want to do that. And yet I am not seeing, I'm hearing all these great things, but I'm not seeing the support come. I remember even a couple of years ago, somebody said, "I'm going to support you." That support hasn't come in. And I could easily dwell on all of the negative. I can dwell on the things that have not come to be yet. I can dwell on the people who have, in my mind, not followed through. And, that's probably on me too. I need to tap them on the shoulder and say, "Hey, remember when you said you were going to support?" So as a creative person, my second survival technique is to ensure that I have scheduled in my, in my planner, something creative to take the spot of all of the energies that I've been giving out and giving, for whatever so long as a film festival creator, as a filmmaker. Otherwise, I will find myself again, sinking into this discouragement. So the creative things that I decided to do is I am now taking this intensive screenwriting course through Roadmap Writers. Yeah, shout out to Roadmap Writers for being an amazing partner with us. But I decided, okay, I'm going to invest in myself this month, and I am going to put the energy into what my dreams and goals are. I need somebody to guide me because I'm always giving out and giving out. I need somebody else to help give in to me. So there's something to be said about, okay, get your next project figured out. Not right away, right? It doesn't mean like the day you wrap from a film or the day you wrap from your film festival that you have something going the next day. I mean, maybe that's going to work for you. That doesn't work for me. Find out what works for you. But I needed like a week or two to be able to have something on my calendar that I knew I could slide into when things were going to get, low for me. So I have that screenwriting course that is like 2 days a week now, maybe even 3, with homework and deadlines and all that kind of stuff. And it's really helping me because I have to put my mental energies into something else. And I see a question in the comment: what are mental exercises to increase the creativities during the period of anxiety and depression? It's a really good question, and that maybe would go along with this second technique of coping, is the creative intentional planning you have to do is this. So again, I said plan something else. So I plan to take a class. Maybe you plan to start a new script. Maybe you plan and go, okay, I know 3 weeks from the wrap of this event or this film festival, whether I'm an attendee or not, or a programmer, I'm going to have my next project gearing to go, or I'm going to have a Zoom with one of my creative collaborators, or I'm going to get coverage for my script, meaning I'm going to pay somebody to give me notes on it. I also picked up a book called The Creative Habit, I want to blank, by Rick Rubin. And that was one of my other things too. I decided I'm going to dive into a book. My daughter gave me a nonfiction book called The Game Changer, which is so good. And I don't usually read nonfiction books. I like nonfiction film, right? So I kind of jarred my brain a little bit by doing some creative things that would help shift the energy, shift my mindset, shift my time and focus into something else, so that the low that was kind of gnawing at me, the low of like, oh, you know what, Tony, you have all those great things, but this is again me sharing too much information, but we only got 2 monthly donors after 4 days of promoting the film festival and telling people like we need donors. Only 2 people, only 2. It's great that we got 2, and I'm so happy, but I also was super discouraged by that. I was like, that only 2 people? After everything we did, all the inspiration that we called people to action to support, only 2 people. So that was like a low that I had to creatively take the energy of focusing on that and then go, okay, I'm taking this class, I'm reading these books. And I also reached out to a couple collaborators. I have a feature film I'm trying to get up and running in 2025. So I was like, all right, to those collaborators, we need to get a schedule going. We need to get a meeting on the books ASAP so that we can start moving this thing forward. Otherwise, I don't want to get out of bed sometimes, if I'm totally truthful. So those are some things, right? So the first one is physically plan something else that your body can be doing, whether it's rest or working out or napping or massage. 2, doing some creative planning and work so that you have the next project and next outlet to put your energy into, whether it's a fun book, whether it's taking a painting class, or whether it's getting that next writing or film project up and running. And 3, I have this thought about your emotional journey. So the surviving the low lows is taking care of yourself emotionally, and this is where I think the transparentness of our mental health comes into play. I still see a counselor on a regular basis with my wife, and I'm also just really aware of like the impact of being a creator is sometimes so harrowing. It really feels like I am going through it in so many ways, and I have to do a mental check-in with myself, with my counselor, with my friends, and just tell people, maybe if you're not at the point of being able to have a counselor or afford it, and I'm sorry for that, finding someone that you could say, could we go out to lunch? Let's go out to dinner and just talk. Let's celebrate. Because that's an emotional exchange with somebody, hopefully a trustworthy person that meets you in an equal place, doesn't take from you, but can mutually give back to you as well, somebody who's a good listener and an encourager in your life. I think that's an important part, but you have to plan that out. Plan to go out with people who bring you life, plan some emotional support that would benefit you. And maybe you see that these 3 techniques or tactics for surviving the lows of lows are all sort of blurry lines. I think they are when it comes to creativity, physical, and emotional. I think all of those things could be sort of similar to many of us, and that's fine. Maybe you just do at least one of those things for yourself when you come out of a intense time of giving, when it's a creative project or a film festival. And I'm really speaking to you, filmmakers, actors, attendees, of a film festival, or you worked on a crew of a film, short or feature, even as a production assistant, even as somebody who's doing any kind of work to make something come to life creatively. I could be talking to you about the play. You're a parent who supports, and I've done this many times, supporting your student in their community or school theater play. All of that stuff takes from us. And so making sure you're just getting into your calendar, looking ahead and going, okay, when this ends, whatever this thing is for you, fill in the blank, do you have something that's going to fill you back up? Okay. Because I know for myself, and again, this is just my own experience, my emotions and my creative tank and my physical body have all had repercussions when I don't do this well. And even though right now I feel like I'm doing it well, I went on vacation, I did all these things, I'm reading a book, I have new projects, I'm still feeling the weight and the burden. That's just my mental health journey. I'm still fighting the lows of filmmaking, and this all comes down to how I talk to myself, and how, we had a lot of great gems that were dropped at the festival just a few weeks ago about how we talk about ourselves and how we talk to ourselves, the language that we use. It's so easy to slip into, negative and toxic mindsets, and being careful with, as we're scrolling the socials, that we don't take on, all of those comparison traps that so easily can come into our lives when we see other people who've moved on and they're on their next red carpet or their next set, and you're thinking to yourself, why am I not? Right? Or that person got funding for their film and where's mine? So breathing is huge, right? Taking a breath, taking care of yourself, all of those things matter. So just as a wrap, you are a creative, a physical, and emotional being. So those 3 areas need attention. And there's probably so many more things we could talk about. I hope this is encouraging to you. If you have any questions or comments that I can help with, please, share them. If you've got any stories about your experience at the Bravemaker Film Festival, please share them. Please follow us at bravemaker.org on Instagram, at Bravemaker on TikTok, at Bravemaker Film Fest on Instagram and Facebook and all the places. Your support and sharing means the world to us and helps us to continue to do this work. We are a nonprofit. We need support. We need corporate and individual sponsorships. You can go to bravemaker.com/donate to become a donor today. And let me tell you this, every bit helps. $5, $10 a month. If you give up 2 coffees at your local coffee shop or a franchise a month, that can come right back into Bravemaker, and we can put that into being able to bring people up from LA to do more movies, to have audio visual equipment at our workshops, which we didn't have for a couple days at the film festival. All of that stuff helps us to do this work. Again, only 47 people for 6 years have supported us. Let's get that number up high. Okay. Thank you, everybody who was a part of the Bravemaker Film Festival. I'm still living through all the cool stories, and there's so much more to come through. So many videos on our YouTube channel. Make sure you check it out at bravemaker.org, our YouTube channel. follow us and subscribe and share. It's really, really cool. I really, really love doing this work. It's so great to be able to be a creative person in the Bay Area. And thank you for Bargate Productions saying these tactics are really good. No one talks about all these tactics when you're not feeling good in the creative world. I appreciate it, Tony. You are so welcome. Anything else we can do, hit us up on all the places. And remember, brave stories change the world, and you are the story. See you, everybody.
Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at bravemaker.org. Like, subscribe, and share. To become a monthly donor, text the word BraveMaker to 44321 or go to bravemaker.com/donate. Thanks for tuning in.